It's, everybody's, without us, you haven't got...
That was the last time we raced, was July 08. 30th of July 08. It's been over 4 years since we've raced there.
Yeah.
So how did that all happen?
No, well, they told us the government was going to take it off us, and they'd relocate us to another property, and this is why we've kept all our gear together, thinking that we were going to go to another property. And at the same time, everybody else got relocated. There was a church there, the Salvation Army were there, and the Trots had part of their stuff there. They all got paid they had their stables over there. They got $2 million to shift their stables back around to where the Trots are.
So how many people were impacted by that? Was it lots of trainers or...?
Oh, there's lots of people have got out of the game because it's gone on for over 4 years now, and we still don't look like getting a track. They do keep promising a track, but it never ever eventuates. We thought with the LMP in there, we would have a fair chance, but it's all lip service. It's nothing doing.
So why was that decision made? And was that the GRA or that?
Well, it really started back with Kerry Watson. She was going to take us to Logan. And it's found out that Logan is too expensive to build on, and so we're at a stalemate now that they don't want to build anywhere. So a lot of people have just got out of the greyhounds. They just want to get out because they can see that there's nothing getting done.
So have things changed now that Kerry Watson's not in there, or?
Oh, it has changed to a certain extent, but they're still running along the same lines, really. That we honestly thought with the new government that things had changed, but it hasn't. We're just in trouble again. This is the last of the Gold Coast. We've been here 4 years with all this equipment and nowhere to go, no track.
I wanted that there's some action, because what makes them do stuff is media. Well, what happened going back, I went and I bought 4 greyhounds that could run, and I wanted to get back into it after Kerry Watson set me up with Danny Ryan, John Doss, Bill Norrell, Cameron McClune. So I wanted to go back and start racing. So I bought 4 dogs and hand slipped them at Ipswich. And Warren Scanella was driving the lure, which Warren doesn't like me anyway. And he pulled the lure up on the bend on the whole 4 dogs and smashed them up. And they were finished after that. And I wanted an inquiry open to it, and the GRA wouldn't take it any further. And I've got all the documents and all the recordings at home that I'm, quite prepared to release to you as well, Nick, because this sort of stuff's got to stop. There's still a few people like Cameron McClune was involved in the setup with me, with Kerry Watson, and he's still a steward at the Trots. So he thinks this is going away, but this is actually coming back to bite him on the arse right now. So I want to go all the way.
So tell me, what is it? Can you explain to people who don't understand what a lure is? What actually happened?
The lure is what the greyhounds chase. It's just like a toy, with a fluffy toy, and it just squeals, and that stimulates them to chase it. And he just stopped the lure on the first bend to smash the dogs into it. Like, you could understand the lure breaking down if it was one dog, but there was trials in between and nothing happened. It was my 4 dogs. So yeah, it's pretty devastating that actually the animals got hurt, and the animals ended up being given away as pets.
And it was only your dogs that were impacted?
It was only my dogs that was impacted with it. Or there was another bloke too. There's another John that had the same problems too. I'll chase his name up too, because he spoke to me and said that Warren Scannella did it to him as well, and there was an inquiry. Warren was pulled into the office, but like normal, the GRA covers everything up. They've definitely covered up everything with me, and I'll stand by the proof that they set me up and destroyed me and destroyed my name for the whole industry, and colluded evidence, the whole lot of them. This is Kerry Watson that started this, and Danny Ryan, Cameron McClune, John Doss, Joe from Bundaberg Greyhound Club, and 2 trainers up there, Bill and Norell, and Chaz. There is another one involved, Chaz, and also there's a Gail Thornlands, I think, as well. She was a steward as well, that sort of worked in with a lot of this stuff that was going on. And Nick, this has got to be stopped. Someone's got to come now and take a stand, so everybody else will start standing up to the system and say, hey guys, we want good clubs, we want to have the system back nice and clean and get the public back in and have some fun and joy like we used to have. Where last night, went to Albion Park, walked in, you could have shot a shotgun in there and you wouldn't have hit one person. And that's disgraceful, because I haven't been there for a long time. It's just gone back. I was there for 2 races, went home. I couldn't handle the atmosphere of everyone being sad, and they're broken. That's the word, broken. Everyone, all those trainers in there were broken. It's just, we should be going ahead. All the other states are going ahead, bar Queensland, because of Kerry Watson. She was a start of destroying the racing industry.
Yeah, I've known Doc for 15, 20 years now, and he's always been, what I liked about him, he's always been good with animals, and he is a very good chiropractor, and very good with the animals, and he treats them like humans, So I've always tried to help him any way I could, so that's why I'm always there for him, because I trust him as a person, and he's good at his job.
So all of this, it just sounds so wild, all of the attempts on life, and does that did you imagine that sort of thing would happen in your industry?
Not really, but I mean, it has happened, and Doc's the proof of it, with all his, with whatever evidence he's got. It's all been recorded, so it is all there.
So you say he's a good bloke?
Yeah, no, I've always found him good and honest. That's all I look for in people, if they're honest, So.
And then going back, when all this was going on, there was a lot of other people intimidated as well.
Yeah.
There was another one, Cynthia. What was Cynthia's last name?
Subtle. Cynthia Subtle.
Yeah, well, Cynthia started to come forward, Nick, and told me about a bit of stuff. And what was really sad is one night I rung her, and she didn't want to talk anymore. She'd come home to one of her dogs being dead. And there's been quite a few trainers that once they want to come forward and speak up, it's funny, they're at the races and they come home and the dog's dead. And to me, that's what's happened to me along the way all the time. is meaning that's a calling card saying if you don't shut up, we'll kill all your dogs. So what happens? People clam up, walk away. I'm not going to walk away. I'm coming to knock them out their ivory tower because I'm getting to the bottom, the truth. I'm not going to stop until I get the truth. And Ned, how many years ago I told you then I'm not going to stop?
Oh, yeah, you've always kept trying.
Yeah,
Sure.
and also what is so silly, they've bagged my name so much to all these greyhound trainers, but what the greyhound trainers have got to know, I'm actually fighting to better the system for them, Ned.
The industry,
Haven't I?
Yeah.
And they're against me, thinking I'm, trying to destroy or attack them. I'm not attacking any of the greyhound people. Without the greyhound people, we have not got an industry. And this is a part they don't understand about me, Ned, because I don't get close to them, because I've been burnt too many times. So they don't know me on a personal level.
Yeah.
Up in Bundaberg, when I was getting him ready for the Bundaberg Cup, and I bought him off Eric Haldane, and I got him right, and he had last, and I think, failed the chase. I took him to Bundaberg to give him one look at the track, and then the Bundaberg Cup was in 3 months. So I took him up there, and there was the young guns on. One heat run 32.38, second heat run 32.78. Winston Master, never seen the track before, come out and run 31.78, and I had a big bet on him. In your opinion, Ned, should I have been swabbed?
With that form, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Right? Absolutely. That's what I've said all along. And form reversal. I said to John Doss to the swab room, he says, no. I was talking to Danny Ryan this morning, and he said, what's Doc doing up there with Winston Master? He's a class dog, don't swab him. I thought that was a bit unusual because Danny Ryan should have no control over that. So I started to walk back to the swab room and thinking, I'll get swabbed. I get swabbed every time I'm there. And this time I should have really been swabbed because I had a decent bet and my dog run flying times. 15 lengths quicker than anything of the day, first look. Anyway, he said, no swab. So I walked back up to the kennel block at Bundaberg. You been to Bundaberg? The kennel block would be, from the kennel block to the betting ring would be 200 metres. So I'm going this way to the kennel block, kennel my dog, walked up the hill, 2 trainers there, Bill and Norell, which were part players in the setup. Walked up and Norell goes, Doc, what happened? How come you never got swabbed? I don't know. Asked John Doss. Danny Ryan said, don't swab me. That's what Doss said. Now, how would they know I never got swabbed? Because I went straight, after the race, straight to the kennel block. So there was straight away, I'm wondering what's going on. And that's where the setup started to happen. And then Norell and Bill put in a complaint saying that I said that Danny Ryan's a mate of mine, he looks after the swabs. Ned, you've known me 15, 20 years. Would you reckon I'd ever say that?
No, definitely not.
Who would have heard, if I've said anything about any stewards, who'd be the first man who'd probably hear about it?
Him.
Have you ever heard me say anything about any stewards?
No. Not from that side.
No. I did after I got set up,
Yeah.
because I was proven the setup.
Yeah.
But prior to me being swabbed, have you ever heard of me being in any trouble or saying anything about any stewards? Right. What about when I'd come to the races? Right. You've, known me for a long time. What did I used to do when I was at the races?
Yeah, you're always on your own. You never mix with anybody. You just mainly stay to yourself.
Yeah, which I've done all my life.
Yeah.
So why would I be going around saying to people that Danny Ryan's looked after my swabs? Now, if I've been in the industry that long, how much of a fool would I be saying that Chief Stewart looks after my swabs when he's not even involved with my swabs? Wouldn't that make me, if I said that to you, what would you think?
You're just blowing your trumpet.
Yeah.
So,
See,
yeah.
so why would I do it? Being in the industry and being a professional businessman,
Yeah.
see how the character, mate.
Yeah.
And then that's when Danny Ryan rang me and said, about some furniture and that I was having a domestic, and he said, if I don't give my partner the furniture, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble. And I said, it's got nothing to do with you, mate. Then I find out later, Kerry Watson was my ex-partner's best friend for 25 years. And that's when I got set up. I told Danny Ryan to sit on the fence, because if he don't, he's going to fall off, and this one will come back and bite him when he asks. Exact words I said. Let it go for 3 months, and then set me up.
Tell us about you, Ned. You're, what do you do in the industry?
Yeah, no, I've always got half a dozen to 10 dogs, and just try and stay on the right track, that's all. But it's getting harder and harder because we haven't got the tracks here in Queensland now that we used to have, you know. So
what's your ideal outcome for Gold Coast?
well, we were hoping that we'd get a one-turn track. As long as we got it anywhere, we don't care. As long as we get a track up and going, you know. But since the LMP got in, we don't seem to be going anywhere, and that's what's crippling all the trainers, because if they're not sending their dogs to Melbourne for better prize money, they're trying to get out of the system, that's all.
So has greyhound racing changed a lot over the last, 10 years with...
Definitely, yeah. With all the closing of the tracks, like we used to have up to about 8 tracks, and now we're down to 2.
Yeah.
It's really cruel, you know. Plus, there used to be trial tracks, and we haven't got any trial tracks here now. There's only 1 or 2, and they're privately owned, and unless you get on with those people, you don't trial there, you know. A lot of people are going to Lismore, Casino, even Grafton to try and keep their dogs on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like a very fair and just process if it's based on individuals.
Yeah, well, look at last night. The 2 dogs won at Sandown Park. Cole King won a 5.55 or whatever, and Mary Berman's dog won the distance race down there. Like, all the dogs, the good dogs, the better dogs are going out of the state, which then it makes lesser turnover here for the industry. You know, once you take the good dogs away, people aren't going to bet on the average dog, you know. So that's where we are now.
So do you think there's a bit of underhandedness that goes on in the administration?
At the moment, it's all to do with the trots. They're trying to build the trots up to get a bigger share of the percentage of the turnover when the product is soon to be cut up again, and with the greyhounds going down and down, it'll make them get a lesser percentage, and then the trots all who have been struggling. But at the moment they're putting extra meetings on for them to boost their turnover, and they're going to open up a track at Toowoomba very soon for the trots. That'll be extra turnover. It was in yesterday's Courier Mail, and we can't get anything. So it's as plain as the eye in your head that's what's happening at the moment, you know.
Yeah, it seems like there's a real perception around the dogs, that it's, it's not classy and, things like that. But the dogs get abused or whatever, but, all the dogs, well, not all of the dogs, but I've seen a lot of dogs that are very well cared for, and your dogs look like they're loved and cared for.
Anybody in the game really love their dogs, and the dogs they're fed and looked after just as good as their children. It's not that so much, it's the racing part that's crippling everybody.
It's the
eh?
system, it's the officials.
Yeah.
It's the corruption within the officials, Ned, that's doing it. What about if we go back to all the dogs got injured with that new fight back lure?
Oh, yeah.
How far and how long did we fight
To get rid of
get
it.
rid
What
of
was
that?
What was the...
It's a new law that Danny Ryan and Kerry Watson brought in, and it was doing so much damage to the dogs. The dogs were breaking legs. That is actually the law that's the law that Warren Scanella pulled me dogs up. So can you imagine Ned being stopped dead and the back straight on that? The dogs just go in the air, and everyone fought so hard to get rid of that because the welfare of the dogs, the injuries. How many
What
injuries
is
have
it?
you
I still don't
seen?
understand what it is.
It's a lure. It's where they chase the lure, and it's a steel bar up, and it's up off the ground, and the dogs are jumping to it, and 8 of them hit it together. Yeah, Ned will explain it better.
When the dogs finish the race, they go into what they call a catching pen, and they shut the gate behind them. But with the run-on lure, it's pulled up in the middle of the track, and the first dog that gets there has a go at the lure, and then as the other dogs come into it, it's like I had 3 or 4 good dogs hurt bad because one dog finished about 14 lengths in front of the pack, and they just hit her that hard that they smashed her shoulder. And I tried right or wrong to get rid of it, and we eventually did, but it took a long time,
And a lot of injured and put down dogs.
Yeah.
We shouldn't have lost one dog
A lot of dogs got
put down.
put down, yeah.
Yeah,
Just smashing into it.
yeah,
Yeah.
breaking legs.
Well,
and
especially,
necks.
just say there's 4 dogs in front of the others. They're there already trying to grab hold of this lure, and then the rest come in at full pace and smash into them, So that was the main reason that we...
So how could that be good for the industry? Especially you got a new puppy that's like yours, when we're at 20 lengths or 12 lengths, whatever. So it's there. Oh, I've got me reward. I'm the winner. Next minute, 7 of them smash into him. That dog's not going to want to go to the lead. That dog's going to stop coming in the catching pen because of fear. And not only that, what about the injuries, chiropractic injuries and vet injuries and all that? Greyhounds love racing. It should be racing for fun and joy. People retire, they give up work. 5 years they could be dead. They could get a greyhound hobby and have fun and not have their dogs injured, a little bit of extra cash for them.
Yeah.
That's all gone, Ned. It's all gone. It's all gone now. It's so sad. It's got
At
a little...
least we've got rid of the lure here.
Yes.
And we're back onto it.
Yep. But see, then again, with the lure, it was Danny Ryan and Kerry Watson.
Yeah.
Again, Watson was the main offender of the industry going down, and I'll stand by that.
Have you seen any, observed any corruption from that pair? Yeah?
Oh, only what everybody knows about, but
What about the night, Ned, you were sitting at the table of knowledge and she come over and threatened you with the stewards? Remember that night?
yeah, I was called to the stewards' room, but they didn't carry that on because
No.
I said that I would, I'd fight against it,
But she threatened you
Yeah,
with the stewards?
Awesome. You better cut that off.
No, remember you said something, you called her over and you said, Kerry, want to talk to you. I've just seen all the evidence that Doc Jamieson's got on you.
Yeah,
Remember that?
Yeah.
And what did she say to you then?
She went down straight to the steward's room and sent one of the stewards up and ordered me to go to the steward's room.
Yeah.
And then they were gonna try and get a case against me, and I said, look, I'm not going to get involved in this, but I'll go right to the top to protect myself if it's going to get involved, you know.
And what do you think when you saw some of the evidence I had?
Well, when I seen Doc's evidence, I knew how he'd been treated and how corrupt it was. I just wasn't going to get involved with her, like in front of all those stewards and that. So they more or less let it go.
So she's threatened you with the stewards. What'd she do with me? She threatened me. She got Danny Ryan set me up.
Yeah.
Same. If she did it to me, then I reckon she was too scared to do it to you because you saw all the evidence and she knew that if she touched you, I'd come in really hard. But look at how many other people out there are being set up is not strong enough to come forward.
That's right.
What can they do, Ned? Like, how much power do they have?
Well, they
Power
can
of their own.
take your licence off you and just not accept your nominations, you know, like there's a lot of things that
Just not accept them without any proper reason.
Yeah. But we've got past that now with her, like she's gone and we're under a new setup. At the moment there's no corruption there with the new people, you know what I mean?
Well, there's still old people in there that was there before, Ned. So, you know, I disagree with that. Like, you know, a leopard doesn't change its spots. Yeah. You know, I want my inquiry reopened, and they won't do it, and I'm not going to stop until it reopens.
But at the moment, nobody's being pushed around like you know, all the things.
Well, there's too much heat on them at the moment with Four Corners, Ned.
Yeah.
Four Corners wants all the corruption out, so they've gone in their burrows, you know. And that's why now I'm coming in now while I've got the chance, while they have got some heat on them, to get the truth out. Nothing but the truth, Ned. What I said to you a long time ago. Yeah. You know, all my dogs killed, devastated me, the attempts on my life. You know, I couldn't even drive out after dark without being intercepted and that. So, you know, that's not a way to live when all I've ever done is go around doing my chiropractic, saving animals. You know, I'm like a prisoner, you know.
Did you have a chance to see any of that, some of the stuff that Doc went through?
Oh, yeah, we went through it all, yeah. Not all of it, because there's that much of it, but all the main parts we did, yeah.
Yeah. And also, I've got evidence there too, Nick, of the committee at Ipswich, they're switching the starting boxes around. You know, Lorraine, used to be Lorraine Patterson, what's her name now? She handed a lot of evidence over to me. She handed a lot of evidence over me where the committee changed the starting boxes and they tried to blame Tommy Patterson when he died. I've got all the evidence. I've got solicitors' letters, I've got letters from the Ombudsman, the whole lot. This needs to come out too to show what gets done behind the scenes. That advantage the 8 dog, and that's a federal offence. Touching anything, boxes, starting boxes, that's a federal government. That's just what they do, and then they will blame someone else for it. There's affidavit there, Merv Page signed as well, and all that sort of stuff. You know, the evidence is there. This needs to go higher and just clean the system up. So in the future, no one wants to play. No one wants to get involved in the corruption. No one wants to intimidate anyone. You know, get rid of the bullies. You see lately on TV and that, all the bullying, cyber bullying. You know, that should have ended at school, Ned. Not in these big organisations. You know, so get rid of the bullies. Make them stand up and make them face the truth and where they've gone wrong and hurt people. Like Kerry Watson. You know, she's done so much damage to not only me, to greyhound racing, to all the trainers. Get some good, happy people, honest people in the game. People that sitting down at a board meeting and say, how do we improve this racing game? Not worrying about the back pocket or what we can do to better the trots or better the horses. Let's start off with about time the greyhound code had a fair go, Ned. About time they had a fair go for a change. You know, and then people will start being happy. You walk at the races, no one smiles. It's about time that they did, Ed. They're not happy because of the system. You know, how good would it be walking in to the races and everyone's happy instead of sitting in their little clans, you know? It's you know, makes me really sad. I don't want to race, Ned. How do you feel?
Yeah, no, I'm at the end of it. I'm going to get out soon because we're just going nowhere.
But if things change, would you get out?
Oh yeah, most likely. But the way it is now.
But if it changed, would you get out?
Oh no, I'd stay in it.
Yeah.
If it was.
You'd have more people coming in.
But we definitely need another track, and that's it.
Yeah, because some dogs don't suit.
No.
You know, the tight circles. And the thing about it, the board, the system knows that.
Yeah.
So what's happening to those dogs that are being bred and that can't handle, like if they want a track like the Gold Coast, what ends up happening to them? They're a good chance of being put down. Yeah. You know, it's not fair. It's not fair to the animals. It's not fair to the people that's rearing them and breeding them and yeah. You know, times are going to go ahead, mate, not behind, eh? Right, eh?
It's a shame, Ned. It's a real shame.
It is.
Yep. Ned, can we do something about that?
Well, the case is coming up, so we more or less can't go.
We can do anything, mate. I've proved that. You know, whether they're running the case, I don't give a shit. I'm past lawyers, barristers, the whole lot, right? The truth is, money's gone missing at Albion Park.
Yeah.
Right? Sharon's daughter's got the blame for it. She mightn't have taken all the money, mate. She could be a scapegoat like everybody else is.
But at the moment, we don't know. So
no, but you know,
it's hard to.
But it's covered up. Where's all the paperwork gone?
But the case is still coming up, so I don't think we can say much about it, really.
Yeah.
I'll just.
Just give me 1 sec. The light might be a bit. Yep.
You can keep these.
Yep. Sounds fast.
But this is where the trots are getting extra meetings. They're putting on and they're putting it on Sky. Ipswich have had a meeting with the new Racing Co at the moment, and they said we can run a meeting on a Saturday afternoon, but it won't go on Sky. And our
what's that one there, Ned?
yeah, you can take this one. This is about how run down the dogs are getting, and our percentage. By the time they're ready to cut up the product co, they will have driven us down to less than what we are now.
You're kidding.
And the trots are on the rise because they got an extra meeting on a Monday night. They're getting extra races, 1 or 2 races on their usual meetings, and now they're going to open up a track up there and put on Sky.
Where they won't.
So, and the dogs cannot get a go at anything.
Yep.
No tracks. Whereas if we do have an extra meeting, we've got to have it without Sky or Tab, so we won't get an increase in takings. You know?
So why wouldn't you put it on Sky or Tag? Why would you not do it?
So we won't we won't get our percentage,
Prize money.
prize money.
Yep.
So it's as plain as anything that we're getting touched, because they're ready to cut up the product code and go, it's next year, and they're going to say your percentage is down to buggery, and you stay down there.
But what I've noticed, Ned, when I really noticed the downfall is from 2005 till now. When would you reckon you've noticed?
Oh, well, it's very plain of late, with all the trots getting the exposure and the extra meeting.
No, but I mean the greyhound system
yeah.
falling away. 2005. When was Kerry Watson in charge of the board? 2005?
Yeah, sure.
Before that, it wasn't too bad. You know, Gold Coast was running. She closed Mackay. They closed Launton, Toowoomba, Beenleigh, and all with the promise of reopening a new track for them. You know?
So,
it's just talk the talk and not walk the walk. Yeah. I think it's about time they walk the walk, don't you reckon? Yeah. Someone's got to walk the walk and put their head on the chopping block and say, well, this is not happening anymore to the, pan lickers. Let's start to increase the value of the dogs and the value of the system, to upgrade it from being losers.
All we want's a fair go.
That's all.
Fair go.
Fair go. It's been a long time coming, Ned, and it's about time we do something about it, mate.
Fair go sounds only fair, hey?
Yep,
Yeah.
fair go. Fair go all round. Fair go all round. About time.
Can I just film that? Just in case.
Yeah, you can take both of those with you. No, I said with Doc, he's been kicked in the guts the whole way along. He's never ever had a fair go, and he just keeps fighting, and that's what I like about him. He never gives up. He just keeps fighting and trying to get things on the level, that's all. So.
Well, Ned, I made a promise to you a long time ago that I would never stop until I could help make change to the greyhounds. And I'm talking about the greyhound trainers and the system, so everybody can get up in the morning, walk their dogs and be happy to go to the race, instead of putting your dogs in the races, get about a kilometre from the track and go, I don't really want to be here. Am I going to be called into the stewards? Am I going to get a ticket for not chasing? Am I going to get a ticket for fighting because the stewards don't like you?
Yeah.
Hey,
Ned, if you're a trainer, if Doc was a dog, how do you reckon you'd go training him?
Yeah, he'd be interesting, but at the same time you knew you're going to get 100%, so you'd put up with it. Hey.
Thanks, Ned.
I reckon he's a bit of a bulldog.
Well, someone's got to make a stand and make some of these people stand up and realise that if you do keep fighting and you don't lie down, don't stand down or back down time, the system can change. Yeah. But not if everyone says, I'm going to lose my licence or walk away. This is what they want. Go ahead, stand your grounds and don't back down. Definitely. That's my advice. And I'm there. If anyone's got evidence of harassment or corruption or whatever and intimidation, give it to me. You step away, I'll run with it. I'll take it on. And how long have I said that to you, Ned?
Yeah, for 15 years or better.
Yeah.
15 years, has it been going that long?
He would be, yeah.
Yeah.
And all I said is before,